And we are live. Welcome to the NAGP Thursday night GT1 race series. I'd like to welcome all the viewers tonight. And I'd like to welcome my old buddy back. Welcome back, Curtis.
I was doing a little dance there, which you couldn't see it though, but yeah, it's good to be back tonight on Thursdays.
Yeah, it's real good to have you back. Thursday's a long night. It's like a 2-hour stint, so it's good to have you back in the booth with us.
So where are we tonight? We're in Silverstone in England, right?
All the way across the pond. Looks dry there right now, but things could change.
Yeah, not like the Formula 1 race they had there last weekend, huh?
Absolutely. Going to be a little wet, I think. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little weather tonight.
We did a little bit of practice here last night, and the guys were turning in some real quick times, kind of like they are tonight. And but it was a little damp on the track, but a real fun track. I don't know if you've done much time out here lately on it, but I don't remember the corners. It's never been a year since I've been out there, and I got lost out there for a while, and they changed it up since the last time I was there.
I was out last night up on the server there at the track in the wet, and it was wet and wild. If this goes wet, it's definitely going to be wild tonight.
So it looks like we're still in practice, though. Might be waiting on a few guys to check into the server, make sure their stuff is up and ready. So I'm sure we'll be getting into the qualifying session here real soon. But in the meantime, what's been happening this season in GT1?
Well, it has been wild and crazy this year. The battles have been fabulous. The competition's been great. I've just been on the edge of my seat doing this, that's for sure. We've had a few runaways. Guys checked out and ran away with the leads, but the battles in the middle of the pack, the top half of the pack, have been unbelievable. Last weekend we had Aaron Parsons sort of run away and give everybody a clinic, and Chris Moses was in second with Sportelli following that up. But the battle back in the pack with Werner, Canola, Pohl, Maris, and Prieto was unreal. And if that continues again this week, we're in for some great entertainment.
Yeah, I caught the last 5 minutes of that. Looked like I had pretty much had it covered. Didn't get to see much of the middle of the pack racing, but looking at the results from last week, like you're saying, it was real close to that, finishing out those top 10s. And it looks like we do have qualifying going. 25 minutes worth here in GT1. It's on looks like it just might be a little slightly wet track. Good temps, 70 degrees.
Temp's good, but the wet track and forecast for wet conditions, this is going to make it pretty interesting. We can watch the times maybe drop a little bit, but these guys are so good they can put in some wicked wet laps as well. Last night it was just almost embarrassing being out there on the track with them.
Yeah, I was about 10 seconds off the pace myself last night. I was doing, of course I only did about 4 laps in the Ferrari F40, which nobody seemed to pick, and I can understand why tonight, but I was doing like, what was it, 208s, 207s, 206, and that's about 10 seconds out the times I was seeing here in practice. Thiago was at the top of it with a 155, and then Sportelli with a 155, and Brad and David Pohl and some other people lined up there with some 156s. That was in practice, so we'll see what the qualifying time's going to turn out.
Yeah, it's going to be close again. The competition is real close all the way through this. I mean, last week I think it was the top dozen drivers, or 15 drivers were in within 1 second of the pole setter. So I mean, the competition is great all the way through this whole thing. Well,
I'm going to follow along here with some cars while you...
Yeah, I'm on board here with Thiago. It is definitely wet. He's picking up some spray from one of the Astons.
Who to follow? I don't know who I want to follow, but normally the fast guys in the wet seem to be Chris Moses and Aaron Parsons. They're always real good in the wet tracks. Calvin Canola, he seems to be wet all the time, and he's towards the top of the sheets during practice, so this is going to be another good qualifying.
Yeah, you really can't count anybody out here. I mean, Sportelli's going to be in the hunt. David Poole's going to be in the hunt. They're all going to be going for it this time around. The leaderboard is for the driver championship is pretty tight again. All these people are just out there to win.
That's why I kind of paused there for a second. Like, well, this guy could, like, well, you know what, this whole entire field could pretty much do it, so.
Pretty much. We've got 24 drivers that are in the points this season, and we've got probably close to 30 out tonight, so every one of them are hunting down the points.
There were some new names as far as I was concerned. I hadn't seen. There was a Kreshnikov Halili. I hope I said that right.
Yeah, Kreshnikov Halili.
A new guy. And there was Alessandro Smith in one of the Corvettes. A new name to me. He finished up in 15th, got some points. I don't know if that was his first race or not, but that was his first point scoring position so far this season.
Yeah, we've got another fella. He's come back. He's been around with us before, Steve Kagerer. He's racing out of Saint-Jean, Quebec.
Yeah, he's back then. Yeah, I remember him. Canadians. Got a lot of Canadians in this league.
Yeah, we sure do. We invade just about every country that'll let us in.
So it looks like John Sportelli is on a time lap here. Looks like everybody's pretty much getting going here. Rich Romans dived in, wanted to make some changes on his car. Now look at that. Putting in the times I was putting in on a wet track. See how they are.
It does look pretty wet out there. It's going to make tire selection very interesting tonight.
Yeah, with the cool temperatures, I would think these guys are probably going out on light tanks and these soft wets. Try to get in a couple of blistering quick laps.
Well, geez, interesting you mentioned that, Curtis. I did hear Mr. Parsons once tell me that he said a little extra fuel in the wet track and lower tire pressures sometimes work to his advantage.
I think I was around that night when he said that also.
Maybe he was just throwing us off. Maybe that's why I'm so terrible out there.
Yeah, maybe he was just throwing us a curveball because it hasn't worked for me yet.
Right now, on board with George Azevedo. He's in, I think, that Ferrari F40 and sitting in P6 right now. So looks like he's got that thing hooked up pretty good.
Yeah, the first 7 positions so far, pretty close together, but I'm sure we'll see these times drop a little bit while these guys get used to these conditions.
Yeah, and while we're watching some of the time trials roll on, I'd just like to put a shout out to the viewers there to, looks like Turbo, and sorry, I can't read the other name, but that's up there, but thanks for joining us. If any of you viewers have got a driver we want to focus on, just let us know. We'll be sure to give them some airtime.
Trying to get my laptop up and going here so I can see what's going on the live stream side of things, and I can keep track and chat back and forth with those guys over there.
Absolutely.
Keeping track of what's going on the track.
Yeah, I'm just going to follow Chris Moses around. He's on a hot lap here.
Brad Maris has gone up to the top of the timesheets with a 2:04. 5:07 knocked a couple seconds off his. Of course, Brad, one of those naturally fast guys, who was kind enough to team up with me here a few weeks ago in GT2, showing me the ropes on how to get that car around Bathurst.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me if Brad's going to be right up the top of this one. Looks like Chris has pulled it off. Got caught up in a little bit of traffic. And another driver, Marty, you're in. Our senior statesman from California.
He'll love it here knowing you said that.
Yeah, I've been giving all sorts of guys little nicknames. I hope they don't take it personally, though.
Some things have tightened up. You know, in the top 10 spots. Everything in between 204 to 207s. Here comes some more times. Look at that. Everybody dropping into the 206s.
Well, Chris, it sure doesn't look like it's drying up any out there. It still is raining hard.
Temperature staying pretty consistent at the moment. Right there at 72 degrees. It's not, it's just a good rain. It's not flooding the track or anything, so these guys will still be able to, you know, not get too worried about, you know, the heavy water.
Well, make tire selection interesting, that's for sure. And a little shout back out to Turbo. There's Paul Hall. You've asked to take a look at him in the 49. Paul driving the CR6 Corvette. Let's follow Paul around and see how he does on his hot lap. Currently sitting in 22nd.
I don't know, this might be what is this Paul's first night out with us? Because he didn't race at Monza last week. Or 2 weeks ago, I should say.
Yeah, you might be right. I don't remember seeing him in last week's race at all. Currently hasn't got a point, but we'll be rooting for you, Paul.
So, looks like David Canavan has moved up into second, and John Solberger in third at the moment. David pulls inside, makes some changes on his car, sits in fourth. So getting those tires warmed up. David's had a pretty strong season in GT1. Of course, like that's any different than any other time.
Yeah, another one of those great drivers. Well, Paul's struggling a little bit out there with that big Corvette, but let's see how he can finish off last sector.
I'm not real up on the cars and what car may have a little more advantage in these conditions with a little more natural downforce and a little better handling as opposed to some of the top speed cars. So seems like in the past the 550 and 575 Ferraris have always been real quick in a straight line, but what car is the real downforce car in this series?
Well, your guess would be as good as mine. It sure looks like the McLarens are pretty well hooked up. Poole and Warner seem to have a great combination going there, that's for sure. Geez, it looks like we just lost Gregory Myers. He was all frozen up on the track there.
Yeah, Greg has been having a real rough time in GT2 series, and it looks like his woes continue here tonight, so he'll be able to get back in, at least give the race a go. Seems like he had those problems a season or two ago. He would drop and then come back in and be good for the whole race.
Well, let's hope he can get back in. Greg's one of those smooth drivers. He crept his way up all the way through last week's race. It was pretty exciting to see him just quietly move to the front.
Yeah, that is what what Greg does. If he does have bad qualifying, he always seems to put it right in the race. And like you say, move his way up into grabbing positions left and right kind of quietly, work his way up in the top 10.
Those Ford GTs this season seem to be well hooked up as well. I mean, they seem to be running real well. Both teams of the Ford GTs, and like I said, those McLarens seem to be of Poole and Warner. What a team! They've got a great team going.
Well, it looks like Brad Maris has knocked off almost 3/4 of a second off his previous time. Stay at the top of the timesheets at the 2:03.851. Sitting in the pits at the moment.
Yeah, and
little changes he feels necessary.
And that looks like a great time for these track conditions too.
Yeah, that is even. You know, they were running what 156 is in the dry. I saw yesterday and last night. So it must be pretty wet out there.
It sure looks it offline. It looks like these guys are throwing up just tons of spray. Currently running around here with David Canavan, who's in P2. Coming around to finish out his lap.
Doesn't look like it's going to be enough, and it's not. Kind of flip around here and see if we can find anybody else on a good lap.
Rich Roman's out there, yeah. He's only 3/100ths. Yeah, he's only 3/100ths off. Those Celines seem to do well in this GT1 series as well.
Good driving car. You know what? I'm a firm believer. If it's a good-looking car, it's a fast car. So.
And even if they don't win, they still look good.
Well, they would pull lights on. Let's make a run for the top here.
Lost a little wide on that corner, and that's not going to help him out. Boy, sure is sliding that car around.
And just curiosity's sake, here we got some people out there with some weight. Looks like John Portelli has 44 pounds on the car. Aaron Parsons has 88 pounds. Interesting to note that Aaron is down in 15th place, not where we normally used to seeing him. And Marty Aaron, also with 88 pounds on the car, down at 17th. And the big surprise for me right now, Chris Moses, 19th spot at the moment. He's got 66 pounds on the car, so I don't know that's hurting or helping him right now. But you know Chris is going to want to do better than that.
Yeah, he's probably got 3 or 4 hot laps he can throw in yet, and I'm not going to be surprised to see him pull one out and move up a little farther. We just got Rich Roman moving into P1. Taking P1 away from Brad Maris. But Brad's on another hot lap, and he's only 3/3100ths off the pole time.
Yeah. 0.036 off the first split.
In car now with Brad Maris.
Minute and a half laps. You'll see everybody come jumping out here at the last, the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't appear from what I can see that it's drying up at all.
Yeah, in these conditions, you can still get a little bit of a line going, and the track will get a little stickier, and you'll see some times drop. Still back in the 19th spot as Chris Moses. I'm just really amazed at that right now. So.
Hell, and Brad pulls off.
I focus on the fast guys in the back, but.
Well, there's another hot runner, Juan Monroy, up into P3. Canavan back into P5. No surprise to me this year, Andre Prieto, he's up into P7. He's having a hell of a year up here, a great run this year.
Yeah, it's probably helping him. He's concentrating on just the one series. You don't see him in GT2 this year. He's focusing on the GT1 series, and it's helping him with his results.
Yeah, he's been in the thick of a number of battles. He's been racing really, really clean, but really close this year with everybody he's been battling with.
Yeah, what did he get? I think he scored second or third at Le Mans. He got 20 points there. Had a couple mid-pack runs with Brno and Monza. Looks like he's going to be another strong contender tonight too, huh?
I would say so. Andre got held up a little bit there with the Corvette in his way, but still posted a pretty good split time.
Juan Monroy moves up into second place right now.
Way to go, Juan. Boy, oh boy, he's got this wet track figured out. Andre Prieto up to P2. Good run, Andre.
What I was thinking, the track will get faster even at these wet, even with this wet drizzle going on. And you're seeing it, you know, you're seeing the times.
Yep, we got Poole and Canavan out. Looks like they're going to put in a last effort. John Solberger down to P7 now. John Sportelli in P8. On board with John Sportelli as he comes up to his first split time.
I just saw an interesting little, I was following Chris again because I'm still amazed, but he's 2 seconds under his fastest lap time right now, so if he keeps that up, Moses is going to be right up there in the top 5.
Is he coming close to the end of his lap there?
Yep, it's done. He just lost it on the little short back straight, so he's going to have to try again.
Oh, no. Well, he's got time. He has just got time.
Keep tabs on that. It's good to know at least he has the speed in him.
He won't be happy with that little bobble.
Aaron Parsons still struggling back there. He's a second and a half off the leader's times at the moment. He's sitting back there in 15th still. Brad Maris back on top. 2:03.851. Andres Prieto second.
Way to go, Brad.
Yeah, Brad's like Twitter. He wants to be at the top of those timesheets. He knows he can do it, so he's always going to try real hard. And we're getting down to that time now if you're going to want to get your fast lap in. We got just over 3.5 minutes left in qualifying. So if you want to try to get a time in, now's when you got to get out there.
Yeah, and John Sportelli still stays in P8. Oh, we've got Tiago's out on track. Canavan's out. Pole's out. Juan's out. Andre is out. and Brad, they're all out trying to, Brad's trying to better his time. A little off his fast pace, but still excellent laps. They sure look like they're breathing the throttle to try and grab some grip around some of these corners there, Curtis.
I've got the sound turned off, so when I'm following around I can hear everything that's going on except for their throttle. But just 2 minutes left, so if these guys need to, if they're hoping to move up, they need to get on it now. Looks like Al Marimont is going to stay parked. Content with his time.
Yeah, and Brad has pulled it off. Andre Prieto, his teammate, is in P2. It's quite a team achievement they've got going there tonight.
Ah, something like a good 1-2, huh? 1-2 punch.
And Andre right now has got a little bit of time up on the pole time right now. If he can get some clear track ahead of him. Looks like he's coming up to some traffic though.
Looks like this Celine.
Oh, pulled off and let him through.
Seconds left.
And he's just taken P1, Andre Prieto. Great run, Andre. Way to go.
So, any more hopefuls? We got Thiago Canola, who was close, and he's still out there. Oh,
he's just
Thiago's off the track.
He's just pulled it off.
Pole, who is on a hot lap, and he's half a second slow at the moment. Let's see if he's got enough time. With 18 seconds left, I doubt he'll have enough time to finish this lap and have it count. But
well, P5
is the only one with a shot at taking over.
P5 in these conditions is not too shabby, though. Hey, we've got to put another shout out there. Robert, thanks for joining the broadcast. Good to see you. While we got Robert up there in watching the broadcast, let's put a little shout out there for the Saturday League. Champ cars. Boy, oh boy, are they exciting. Have you tried those, Curtis?
No, I don't want to get sucked in.
Wow, are those cars fast. Unbelievable.
I know, if I did that, I would have to like rearrange my whole entire weekend so I can do that too. And I know I'd want to, but I might throw that mod up on the computer just to have some fun during the weekdays. Yeah,
I recommend it to everybody. Get in, it's good advice that our senior statesman, Marty, told us. Cross-training in these cars is always good, but these things are extremely fast and fun. I think the Saturday League is going to be a blast this year. The sign-up is up, so join up, give them a whirl. That looks like it, Curtis. We are finished with qualifying.
Yeah, David Pohl didn't quite finish it. He was a little slow. He didn't get to finish his lap. He missed it by about 4 seconds. So, yeah, there it is. There's your pole.
You want to start him off and run him down?
Ah, sure, why not? Hey, right now, teammates Andres Prieto and Brad Maris take 1-2. Andres with the 203.593. In third, Thiago Canola. Fourth, John Solberger and Juan Manuel round out the top 5.
And in P6, we've got David Poole. P7, David Canavan. A pair of Davids there. Andrew Werner in P8. John Sportelli, P9. Andre Cole rounds out the top 10 with a 10th position.
It looked like Chris Moses bettered his position by 6 spots there from where he was languishing down at 17th. Moved his way back up to 11th. George Azevedo. In 12th, Al Merriman, the boss. In 13th, John McIntyre, Johnny Mac. And Laurent Weisman in 15th.
Aaron Parsons down at 16. As we said earlier, a little bit of a surprise. I thought Aaron would do a little better in the wet, but don't count him out, guys. He's not going to end up in 16. Marty Urin, our senior statesman, in P17. Christian Hamilton in P18. And Marco Conti running out of California in P19. Kevin Savoie in P20.
And 21st, got Bjorn Heinlein. And 22nd, Steve Kager. 23rd, Sam Rolfe. 24th, Gup Douglas. Number 25 at Jared Keane.
In P26, David Raleigh, racing out of Wallasey in Great Britain. Followed by Paul Hall. There you go, viewers. You get your guy there. We'll be sure to get him up there. Nick Johnson. Nick Johnson in P28. Now let's watch for this guy. This guy's going to be somebody to watch, I think, Curtis. P29 is Rich Roman. And it looks like Greg Myers is rounding it out. I think he had a disconnect and had to rejoin, so watch for Greg to make his way up through the pack as well.
Yeah, Greg was able to get it back in. That's good to see. And this Nick Johnson guy, I don't know if anybody's ever heard of him, but he showed up on the Monday leagues and just started stomping everybody. Had a good race with him myself just last Monday, and it's too bad he did make it for the qualifying session. Would have been interesting to see what he is able to do. Looks like he's what is he in, the Ferrari? Did he hop in an F40? Yes, he did. F40 LM. So we'll see if he can tame that beast.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to talk to Nick earlier this year, and he said he had raced with us once or twice before in the past, before my times around the NAGP, but he was offended when I called him an alien, but boy, oh boy, this guy can drive the wheels off the car.
Yeah, those first few races he had a little bit of trouble with some pit stops and start line procedures and such like that, but he got them figured out. But we'll see how he is able to come up through the field. He's pretty much starting back there in last next to Richard and Greg. So it's drying out. It's definitely drying out.
Yeah, what are we going into? Warm up here?
Yeah, I'm just now into the warm-up session. Track temps are 91 degrees. The air temperatures are 82. Conditions forecast sunny. So if it's anything like we saw last night, and the pattern stays the same, we might even see something up in the 112 degree ranges, I'm guessing. Any bets?
Oh, let's hope for reasonable temperatures, reasonable weather, and great racing.
Shout out here to Motor FX watching us on live stream. Staying up late at night over there in the UK. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, we draw some viewers and racers from just about every corner of the globe. We've got them from South America, North America, Australia, Europe. We get everybody here at NAGP, and we're glad to have everybody on board.
I'm surprised you left out Canada.
Well, I thought we were part of North America.
Oh, are you? I didn't know.
Well, we're coming to you tonight from Silverstone in Northamptonshire in Great Britain. Track opened in 1947. First Grand Prix held in 1948. We got 18 turns, 5.916 kilometers. We're going to run 42 laps or thereabouts tonight, and the 10% cut rule is in effect.
Any idea how many laps we're looking at tonight?
I think we're going to go about 42 if we're on dry track.
42 laps of pure joy and fun.
It definitely is going to be interesting. I'm going to be watching for some great battles tonight, that's for sure. I think the same battles are going to continue that we've had in the last two races between Brad Maris and his teammate Prieto in the big Fords, and look for them to be battling Poole and Warner in the McLarens. I think that's going to heat up and continue on.
Andres, as we know, he's one of those naturally quick guys that we're always talking about. Him teamed up with, if Andres and Brad team up and decide to check out on these guys, they'll be able to do that. These long straights and those 4 GTs, they'll be able to draft each other and make a little bit of a gap. But if the temps get too high, they have to watch themselves on those rear tires. That's one thing I've noticed about the 4 GTs. Those rear tires can get a little hot and heavy and get a little slippery on them.
Yeah, you're right. But if they can get out ahead of the field, being in 1-2 is a great way to start this race. We hate to say that they can get out and check out and take the race away, but it's probably a great opportunity for them to do just that.
Yeah, if you're racing, that's exactly what you want to do. Damn to the TV audience, right? You want to go out and just check out.
Well, that's okay because we're gonna stick with the action, and it should be a little easier this week when with 2 of us watching the action, we should be able to bring the battles to the viewers.
Yeah, I'll try not to get too enthralled, you know, and just pay attention to one guy. I tend to do that, follow one guy, but I'll try to keep you informed of what's going on in the back of the pack, along with everybody out there.
Absolutely. I've been trying this season, Curtis, to give everybody their moment of glory. They all deserve it. They're all out there racing their hearts out.
Looks like everybody out there getting a good feel for the temps and the pit entrance. Make sure they know where that's at. That's always a good thing to know.
Yeah, there's usually a couple of positions that change hands in the pit strategy that goes on around here. We've got a few guys who just seem to be able to get in and get out ahead of everybody else, and one of those guys I always keep my eye on is that Chris Parsons. Just seems to be able to get in and get out faster than anybody I know. I don't know what he does in there, but he's got the best pit crew I've ever seen.
You know, that's one thing I've noticed. I've been working hard on here the last season or 2 is my pits, and it's definitely helped. When you can just go in confidently and just take care of things and get out fast, it's a relief, and it actually it will help you in your position at the end of the race.
Well, I've noticed that Nick Johnson sure has picked up on that stuff in the first few races he's had this year, and I think he's got that sort of nailed down now.
Of course, I am stating the bleeding obvious, though, aren't I?
Not really, not really.
Fast pits, fast race. Yeah. Well, warm-up is done. Going here, moving up the race here any second now. Interested to see what these track temps and weather's going to throw at us.
Yeah, it's always a crapshoot when it flips over.
There's the big drum roll.
All right, Curtis, not one to put you on the spot, but who's your pick for tonight?
My pick tonight. Let's see. Now, you know, if Brad has a good race, I think Brad Maris will take it. If Brad has kind of a rough race, I'm going to go with Thiago.
Both good choices. I'm going with Andre. Andre's been pressing hard all season and improving, and man, oh man, I'd love to see that guy take one.
He definitely has it, you know, the speed in him to do it. If he can keep his head together, keep the car on the track, you're right. He really does have a good chance of taking this win. But I think Brad will have a little bit better shot. If you ask for my opinion, there we go.
And there's your predictions, folks.
So we have another another minute, just real quick again. Top 10 starting spots here. Andres Prieto, teammate Brad Maris, 1-2, and Thiago Canola in third. John Solberg will start 4th and Juan Monroy 5th.
Keep going. I'm in car right now with sitting with Andre.
And then David Pohl will be 6th, David Canavan 7th, Andrew Warner 8th, Mr. John Sportelli 9th, and Andres Cole. A real good starting position for Andres there in 10th, just ahead of Chris Moses there. So let's hope we have a good clean start. 30 seconds away.
That's one heck of a top 10.
And if there's anything going on in the back or up in the front there, Aaron Parsons is going to take full advantage. He's pretty smart on the starts, keeps a cool head, tries to keep it clean. But if there's anything going on, you know Aaron will just kind of snake his way through.
And they're up. And they're off. And Canola onto the inside.
Looks like Andres had a slow start.
Might have had a tall first gear there.
No,
yeah, Brad has dropped.
He's dropped back to 6th.
Dropped way back. Canola and Prieto out in front.
Ooh, we had a bit of a problem back there in the middle of the pack.
Well, we've got Canola, Prieto, Monroy, Canavan, and David Poole has just pulled up. Canavan knocked Canavan off the track. Poole and Canavan got together, got knocked off. Poole is moved out of the way there. Actually, it looks like he's gone in. He's gone into maybe get some. No, he's rejoined it again. Boy, oh boy, some action right off the beginning.
That's just what this race needed, an upset David Canavan, so we'll be keeping an eye on him now. He's already made up to 2 of those spots that he's lost. He's back at 13th spot.
Chris Moses up to P7 with Kevin Savoy in P8. Brad Maris has collected himself back up, got into P4. Big gap.
There was some problem. Yeah, back in the back of the pack here. I was talking earlier about maybe how Aaron might work his way up. Did not happen. He's dropped back to 18th spot, and Marty Aaron all the way back to 21st. So that first lap has cost them dearly.
Well, they still got 42 to go, so lots of time. Andre Prieto in P2, hanging out of the back end of Thiago Canola. Looks like we had somebody drop. I'm not sure who that was.
Yeah, it was Nick Johnson dropped, so we're not going to be able to see his progress tonight. We're looking forward to that, Nick.
We sure were. I was thinking he was going to be a dark horse in this race.
Looks like Brad Maris has worked his way up from that little bad start he had up in 4th.
Well, Thiago has still got Prieto behind him, and I'm pretty sure they raced real hard together last week, and I'm sure the two of these are going to stay tight together throughout the duration of this race. Juan Monroy in P3. Followed by Brad Maris. Lauren Weisman in P5, followed by the pit wizard Chris Moses.
Looks like right now the fight for 7th between Sportelli, Merriman, and Savoy.
Yeah, I just picked it up there. We're following Kevin Savoy.
These guys remember it's an hour and a half. You're not going to win anything in the first laps.
Savoy, Merriman, and Sportelli. And David Canavan has got himself collected back again. He's back in P10. You can bet he is going to push hard to get back into the race.
Well, you know he's going to push hard because he's got David Pohl right on his back bumper. David will push you, that's for sure.
Absolutely, and David's been running great races so far this season. Andre Cole in the Celine in P12. George Azevedo in the Ferrari F40 in P13. Followed by Johnny Mack in P14. We got David Rowley.
Good looking Ferraris.
And Marco Conti having a good look at inside a rally. All over, and Marco loses a spot. Aaron Parsons, P18. And Mr. Parsons, followed closely by Marty Uren. You can bet those two guys are going to just slowly make their way up through the pack.
Yeah, they've got good vision. They'll see what's going on up ahead of them and just kind of pick people off. Especially with a little bit of that redness from having a bad start, right? Always makes you that little bit faster.
Yep, they're going to push it just a little bit more. I got Jared Keane, my Monday night teammate, in P20. Andrew Werner back in P21. Did he get mixed up in the first lap schmozzle back there?
Yeah, he must have. What was he? He was up in 10th spot. Didn't he start up in 10th?
Yeah, I believe so. He must have got collected in. Greg Myerson at P22. Watch for Greg to quietly make his way up. Steve Kager out of Quebec, making his way up. And Gupper Douglas, P24. Christian Hamilton down in P25. Bjorn Heyman, P26. Sam Rolfe, P27. Sam's had some good races Monday night this year. And Paul Hall in P28 in the big Corvette. Back up with your leaders, Tiago Canola. Followed closely.
Yeah, these two are keeping it close. Andres is through this whole lap has kept it about half a second behind Tiago. They're slowly pulling away from Brad Maris. It was
and Prieto right up behind him.
Mistake there.
Yeah, absolutely. Sort of looked like it caught Prieto by surprise.
They got back to almost up to 6 seconds already. Third lap.
Yeah, this could be a runaway.
Well, GT1s are strong at this track. You're looking at us in first, second, and fifth place now. So that torque and power, those V8s, like these cars are hooked up around Silverstone.
They sure seem to know their way around this track. Prieto having a good look.
Protects that inside line. I'm just wondering if there might be, at the beginning of that race, there might have been just a little bit of moisture left over on the track from the heavy rains. It may have caught a few people out.
It sure seemed to, or maybe it was qualifying in the wet and moving over to the dry that caught them out. Still early in the race. I think if Andre just shows a little bit of patience, I think he'll get by Tiago.
Yeah, I think he will, because if you look, Tiago's kind of hanging on in a couple spots. He made some mistakes, and car's gotten a little loose on him. Either getting on the power a little bit earlier or braking a little too deep, and just the back end of that car's coming around on him, so making him miss his apexes. So yeah, if Andres is a little patient, not force it, he'll probably find his spot and be able to slip on through.
Yeah, from our vantage point here, I'm riding just in behind Andre Prieto. It looks like Andre maybe have a little bit of a smoother ride going for him.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Andre's pushing a little too hard, which is A, a little faster, and B, it'll save his tires a little bit.
Well, that might be the telltale here. If these guys push the laps that hard, they may run out of tires before they should, and watch their lap times drop later on in the stint.
And they're already 7 seconds up on third place Juan Manuel and Laurent.
Wow.
Who, by the way, are having a real good battle. Laurent just a couple of hundreds. Yeah, I can really measure that. He's right up on Juan Manuel's bumper.
Yep, I just joined that action there too, and you're right. It looks like he's getting ready to make a pass.
And a little update from the middle of the pack there. It looks like David Cole and David Canavan have been going at it, and Cole's got the better of him. Moved up to 10th. Al Merrimon having a real good run so far early in this race, up to 8th, so it's nice to see the boss doing well.
We got some great action going on in here.
That's a good question. They only do one stop here in the GT1 series, don't they, if they can manage it?
Yeah, one stop, and you never know with these guys. These guys seem to be able to squeak the odd race out on one set of tires. I don't know how they do it, to be honest with you, Curtis.
Yeah, my problem too, hanging on to the tires long enough. Seems like you could always do it on the fuel in just this one stop, but if you're hanging on and the tires get too hot, can't do it. With the well, the temps now, they're not too bad, 93 degrees right now. What is that, around, what, 34 degrees Celsius, something like that?
Yeah, yeah.
Tires should... See, I'm learning. American can learn that stuff, too.
Absolutely, yeah. Believe me, I'm still in the Fahrenheit and imperial measurements myself. I just think I just told everybody my age. Really old.
Really, really old. So they should be able to manage those tires.
We got Lauren Weisman. He is looking for every way around Juan Manuel.
Brad Maris would love to see that. He's going to try to chase them down.
That may just
up front between Andres and Thiago is holding steady at that about half a second too. So.
Well, if yeah, Brad's got these guys in sight, so if they get together and tangle up a little bit, it'll play right into their hands.
Wow, can't believe how these two have just checked out. You know, they have an 11-second lead over third place right now.
Well, unfortunately, it doesn't make for great TV, but we will try to keep our eyes on them.
Well, they're not getting away from each other. You know, half a second between those two is that's the good race. And then if we look through third through, third, fourth, and fifth are pretty close together. And then 6th, 7th, and 8th, they are right on top of each other. Chris Moses, Kevin Savoy, and El Merrimon. Looks like Kevin Savoy just made the pass on Chris. So Kevin Savoy in 6th place.
Yeah, I just picked that up there. Following Chris, he's probably going to hunt down Kevin Savoy. And Big Al is in the hunt there too. That is a good race. And Sportelli having a look on the inside of Al. David Poole on the back of that. This is a 5-car battle.
Yeah, 6 through 11. These guys
Whoa, a little bit of blocking action going on there. right off the track. John Sportelli has knocked Poole right off the track. Poole got back on though. Wow, Johnny, I sure wouldn't want to have David coming up behind me if I was you.
You gotta wonder about that. If, you know what? People remember that stuff, so...
Well, you can bet Mr. Poole is going to want to get back up, and he's right back up into the action now.
Yeah, and there's a comment on here, how Sport would just hit check David. Well, there might be a hit check coming back. I wouldn't be surprised if David throws him a little hockey check there.
Well, if you take a look at Sportelli, he sure looks like he's all over the track, that's for sure. But he did throw one wicked block into David Poole. But it was only one block, and I think one block is allowed, if I'm not mistaken.
You know, missed it, but it looked like Andres made the mistake. We were talking about how earlier about how good his car was. He's dropped back 4.5 seconds off of Thiago.
Well, that is reminiscent of the last few races we've had. The last few races, 1 through 4 have just run their own race. I mean, they've been out there all alone. Sol Young, he was out in one race and ran the whole race, started in P5 and ended in P5, and there was never a car around him for the whole race.
So it'll be interesting now to see if Andres is being held up by Thiago or not. So if he can cut this gap down.
We got John Sportelli. He is just taking over. Oh, we got a side-by-side drag race going on here in P9. And there is Mr. Poole taking advantage of that. He's right up behind Sportelli again. Looks like he might catch a draft off him. I wouldn't be surprised to look for a pass at the end of this run.
He slips a little bit. David Canada going to be right there too on him.
Oh, and Sportelli has got a bobble, and he's lucky to hang on to it, but David Poole gets around him and is taking that position.
It happened.
And didn't even have to swap any paint with him. Way they go.
That's why you have thick paint, right?
Absolutely. And you're right, Canavan is right up behind that. He's probably just grinning watching this action going on. And right behind Canavan is Rich Roman. Boy, oh boy, we got quite the battle going on here. A great string of cars from, it looks like, what, P6, P5, all the way back to P12. This is a great race.
Quick update on Mari, whose night is not getting any better at all. Mari's still back there in 23rd now. Going backwards and not forward. Greg Myers, like you were saying earlier, working his way up. He's up to 18th now.
Boy, he's picked up a lot of positions. He started dead last, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, dead last, and he's just picking them up. Like you say, when these guys get in their fights, they'll sneak up on you and pass you.
Rich Roman is just taking over. David Canavan has let Rich Roman through. David must be having some handling issues. He might just not have the speed tonight to take it to the front.
Well, he's in the hunt for the championship, but a bad night can really put a big damper on that. He's 20 points out.
You're right, and he might want to let Rich Roman do some fighting for him, get up there and swap some paint with these guys in front of him. We're still in real tight here. Holy jumping, look at these guys. We got Sportelli going and taking another run at Poole.
There's a gaggle of cars. Poole's going to protect that inside line. Sportelli Just showing him the whole front of his car.
Yep, Sportelli's got the Celine all over the back of him now.
What do we got there? Celine, Ford, Celine. Bunch of Ford power there. Come on.
Yeah, Rich Roman just took that last corner a little wide. Boy, the way they're sliding these cars around, they're going to definitely have some tire wear issues.
Track temp staying real steady though.
We've got David Pohl has just taken position away from Big Al.
Up front, looks like that gap has pretty much stayed steady there at 4, running right around 3.5, 4 seconds. So Andres and Thiago 13 seconds up on Laurent Weisman, who's worked his way up to 3rd place in front of Juan Monroy and Brad. So, well, that battle back there, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 20 verse, all that continues. These guys up front are stretching it out a little more.
Well, it'll probably get a little bit more interesting for the guys up front when they start running into some lap traffic.
And that first lap traffic, unfortunately for the Paul fans, will be Paul Hall, looks like, and that's probably only going to be a few laps away with Paul running a minute 32 behind the leaders, so expect to see him getting lapped here in the next lap or two.
Just jumped on board here with David Canavan. He's back in P12. Rich Roman running in P11 there.
So it looks like Brad and Andres with the high temps, so Ford GT1 and Pirellis, they're on the Pirelli tires, which are, I think, more well known as a wet tire, but I think they like to run a little bit hotter and not lose too much grip.
Well, in P11 we've got Rich Roman. He's straight on John Sportelli's tail. And Big Al Merriman in P9. We've got David Pohl. David Pohl side by side, and he's taken P8. And now Big Al Merriman looks like he's going to run down Chris Moses. We got some great action going on in here.
That gap up between Thiago and Andres still sitting at around 3.5 seconds, so they're keeping it the same. Nothing's changed up front, except for the fact that they're 14 seconds up now on Laurent Weisman, so those two are going to pretty much check out of this race.
Yeah, on board now with Sportelli. He's having a great look on the inside here. Looks like he might take Chris Moses. Sportelli is a great pass on Chris. No, that wasn't Chris Moses. Sorry, that was on Big Al. He's taking a great pass. Is taking P9 away from Big Al Merriman.
We're getting complaints from the viewers. They hate the magic carpet ride. Put some onboard stuff for them.
There you go. There's the TV ride if you're interested in the TV ride. Thanks for watching and thanks for the tips. We're going to take all your requests into advice and give you just what you want to see here. We're going to jump on board and give you an onboard ride with Rich Roman.
know each other, so it's always a good feeling when you're racing somebody you know and what to expect from them too. So I think we'll see some really good action here, clean action too.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. We have got a gaggle of cars here. P12, we've got David Canavan, Rich Roman in P11, Al Merriman in P10, John Sportelli in P9, Chris Moses in P8. Oh, Sportelli has just taken Moses. No, Sportelli's off. Moses is what? Oh, we've got an accident going on. Looks like Canavan is bumped into Moses. Moses is trying to get himself going again. Rich Roman has come through to P11. Canavan up P10. Big Al, boy, that was pretty exciting there, folks. On board again with Rich Roman as he hunts down David Canavan, who has slipped himself into P10.
Juan Monway still 18 seconds back, but Andres Prieto cut that lead and Thiago back down to 2.5 seconds, so he's right on the fuel and finding his pace.
Rich Roman is just taking P10 away from David Canavan again. These guys are just swapping places. This middle of the pack race is something else, although I did see somebody just put up a posting there. They want to see some more action at the back. How are things shaping up back there, Curtis?
Well, there's a bit of a gappage happening there between some guys back there, but I think you're on the race right now. Between Gregory Myers, Monteconti, and Aaron Parsons, they're pretty close to each other for 16th, 17th, and 18th. Those positions have held steady now for the last 5 or 6 laps. Marty Urin only moved up 1 spot, but he's trying to get up on George Azevedo and take that spot for 20th. And looks like poor Paul Hall running back there in 27th still.
Attaboy, Paul.
The lap guys.
Hang in there, buddy.
Keeping it on the track though.
Well, once we start this pit rotation that will be coming up shortly, we will definitely give some of the back half of the pack, we'll definitely give them some more air time here, Curtis.
Yeah, but right now, it looks like another race is right there at the front with Andres Prieto, only 1.7 seconds behind the leader. He's cut that lap down from 4.5 seconds.
Now I'm wondering, is Thiago losing speed or is Andre gaining speed?
Well, I should be able to answer that with a quick look here.
Well, just cruising up to the front here with Lauren Weisman in P5.
Looks like Andre is faster by a good half a second a lap, so...
Well, he's definitely stepped up his game then.
Yeah, Thiago's running the low 157s, and Andres Prieto running in the mid to high 56s, so he's chasing down Thiago.
Well, should shape up for a good battle there. Juan Monroy is in P3, got a little bit of space between himself and Brad Maris. Looks like we just had lost somebody else though. Oh, Brad has spun it. Brad has spun it. Oh, he just got collected up. Man, oh man, that could be some damage for him. Drop Brad into P5. And
John McIntyre.
Oh no. Sorry about that, Johnny Mac.
Mac was running up there, and I think, what, 7th or so,
we've got David Lauren
look around the car, don't see anything, so this car's clean. Just sometimes in those spins, those tires get real hot. You got to hang on there for a second till they get back down the racing temp.
Yeah, that was a pretty good spin and a pretty good bump he took too. Somebody's taking some damage somewhere. It sure doesn't look like these two guys.
We've got a race up front for the lead here. Andres Prieto's on the back of Thiago now. So.
And we're back up with your leaders. Thank you. On board with Andre Prieto. Coming up the lap traffic, this might play into Andre's hand as well.
Paul saw him coming, just let him on by. Good spot too, didn't slow him up. Can't believe this gap they pulled out on third one Monroy. They're at the 21-second gap still.
Wow.
Better than one car checking out. At least we have two of them doing it, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Either one of these guys could cause problems for either one. And that
you can see how Thiago is. Sorry about that. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead there.
I was just saying, you know, you can see how Thiago gets up on those curves and the car jumps out on him, and you know, if he stays off those curves and keep a little more control, it's going to make it hard on Andres. But right now, it looks like Andres is just sitting there in the catbird seat until that car in front of him gets a little too sideways. He's just going to pounce.
Yeah, Andre just looks really, really smooth on this track, and Andre's driving the line really well.
Thiago might be doing a little bit of mirror driving right now.
I think so. Took the line right away from
that
him.
Line right there.
But there he is. There he is.
Line right there. So.
Prieto on the inside there, side by side. This is great action. I love this.
Yeah, you know, Thiago just has to give that up. Let him go. Gather yourself up here.
No way. He is not going to let him go. You know that.
Like we just lost Steve Kager. I don't know how to pronounce that poor man's name. Sorry about that.
Yep, no, you've got it right. Well, sorry about that, Steve.
Kager.
And it looks like Prieto's got a little bit of air, and that's about all he's going to need if he can just turn his steady laps again. I think he'll slowly pull away.
Well, I think following Andres might do Thiago some good. Actually, I think he just hangs there with him a while. I don't think Andre will check out.
I don't really think he needs to check out. He's running steady laps there. If he can just run steady laps, he's going to put a little bit of cap on Thiago.
We're 16 laps into this 42-lap race. We probably. Well, I guess if you're going to two-stop it, now would be the time. But I don't think anybody's going to do that. Unless they just totally messed up on their tire and fuel choice.
Yeah, on board now, inside with Thiago, and Andre's car is starting to look a little smaller.
Yeah, right. Prove me wrong. He's already pulled out a second on him.
Will be one happy camper if he can pull this one off, but it's still early. We're still in the first stint.
Temperatures staying the same. That makes it nice. You don't have to wonder. You can understand what your car's doing now. You can just plan on that.
Yeah, Thiago went a little wide on that last corner there, and I think if he's going to try and push to get up to Andre's lap times, I think he's going to cause himself more harm than good. Well, now that these guys have sorted themselves out for the next few laps, we'll have to keep an eye on them, see when they get into the pits, though, see what happens there. Anything can happen there. We got Juan Monroy back in P3. He's racing all by himself in the big Aston Martin. Lauren Weisman in P4. Poole in P5. Brad Maris in P6. Kevin Savoy, P7. John Sportelli, P8. Big Al Labas in behind him. And we got Rich Roman has spun that Celine. It dropped him down to P12.
Yeah, with the gap there between 3rd, 4th, and 5th, it's about, what, a 2.5 second gap between the three of them, so they're still in sort of contact. As long as you can see that guy in front of you, you got somebody to chase down.
Hey, Dart Guys just put up a post. Yeah, we're going through them. But we got Rich Roman in P12. Chris Moses down to P13. He's got a little bit of space to make up to get up to Roman. Andre Cole in behind Chris. Aaron Parsons back in 15th. Just a bit of a surprise to me. I don't know about you, Curtis, but I'm a little surprised with that 15th place for Aaron right now.
Yeah, a little bit I am. I would have thought he would have made up some spots a little faster than that, but it's not working out that way for him tonight, it looks like.
Now back in P16, we've got Mark O'Connor, but Greg Myers is hunting him down for that last point-paying position.
Yeah, that might be an interesting one to follow for a while because, you know, Greg is, like we were saying earlier, he'll sneak up on you and just take the spot. Looks like Marco's kind of hanging on to that Maserati.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. He's slid that one around a few corners, and that's all it's going to take for Greg just to smoothly slide on by.
There was somebody out there looking for weights. The only 4 cars out there with weight. The 8th place car, John Sportelli, has 44 pounds on it. The 13th place car, Chris Moses, has 66 pounds. Aaron Parsons, 88 pounds on the car, and Marty Aaron with 88 pounds. So it looks like the weight is affecting these guys. Maybe that's what's doing it.
You could be right on that one as well. That 88 pounds could be a big factor there for Mr. Parsons. We got Greg coming down. He looks like he's going to take the position away from Mr. Connie. And he has done it.
Connie tried to put up a fight. Connie was on the outside there trying to sneak around and do the over-under thing, but didn't work out that way for him. Greg just slides on by.
Very smooth. That guy is always very smooth. P18, we got Jared Keane. A couple of and Marty's not that too far off the tail end of Mr. Hamilton. George Azevedo in P21. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to jump on you there, but
that's okay.
Marty's struggling with just pace. You know, he's always running his lap times about 4 seconds off the pace of the leaders at a 2-minute section. So Marty is struggling tonight. Well, we have our first person in the pits. It's Brad Maris in the pits.
Well, we have a bit of a race going on back here. P21 is George Azevedo with Gup Douglas in behind him and Bjorn Heyman. Looks like they're all racing for a position back there.
Aaron Parsons just joined Brad in the pits too.
And Gup Douglas got by George Azevedo. You know, as we mentioned before numerous times in the broadcast, it doesn't matter if you're racing at the beginning, at the front of the pack, or at the back of the pack. There's great racing all the way through this whole field in the NAGP.
Always a race to be had. And look what's happened here. Aaron is dropped pretty much the last with that pit stop. Sam Rolfe is out there in 24th in the pits as well. So Andres Prieto, our leader, is in the pits.
Now, you had mentioned that Brad had pitted.
Brad has pitted. Andres is in the pits now. Just lost somebody else. They're kind of dropping out tonight.
It looks like Aaron has rejoined the group in P22, but we'll have to wait till the cycle gets all through. Oh, Mr. Parsons a little overcooked it. Tire's probably not up to temp yet. Steve. Steve's watching the broadcast now. Steve Kager is watching the broadcast now. Sorry about that, Steve. I was rooting for you. We're waving the flag here. Sam Rolfe in the pits. Whoop. It looks like we lost another one.
How much time is left on the race, because these guys are pitting at lap 20. Not quite the halfway point if it was going to go 42 laps, so
I think it might be tires.
How much time is left? Shouldn't be tires though with these temps. I wouldn't think so. Wow, lost another one.
Now Tiago hasn't pitted yet.
No, Tiago, David, Kevin, Al, Andrew. We got Juan Monroy's in the pits, just now coming out. Sportelli and Rich Roman are in the pits. So Brad, who had pitted a lap earlier, is working his way back up here. Gregory Myers, another one of those fuel sippers, has worked his way up to 8th with all the pit stops. So we'll see how he comes out when he finally does pit.
Yeah, he's pretty smooth all the way around, so it won't surprise me to watch him pick up a couple of places during this pit change.
David Poole is going into the pits right now. Yep, and he's 24 seconds off of Tiago, so see by the time he comes out, he'll probably be a good minute and a half behind Tiago. So
Kevin Savoy in the pits. Al Merriman in the pits. Andrew Warner in the pits. That's going to be a busy pit lane there. Andre Cole currently sitting in P6. Andre Prieto currently running in P7. Now,
2 more people. We're down to 17 runners.
Now up to P6. We must have lost one of the front runners there.
I don't see your pick. Oh, there he is. Andre's up in 3rd. Okay. Aaron, let's see.
Tiago's still out in P1. Is this going to be his pit lap? Tiago into the pits.
So your leader into the pits. Looks like Brad Maris, he's worked his way back up to 6th spot. So I don't see David Canavan on the list anymore, so it looks like we've lost Canavan.
That'll be a tough one for him to swallow.
That's not going to help him in his championship for this year, for sure. I don't see Chris Moses on the list anymore either.
No, say it isn't so.
Looks like Chris is gone. Some sort of technical problem. Looks like George Azevedo's just now dropped out of 12th. We're down to 16 runners.
Boy, that's not good. I don't know if it's technical or mechanical. We've got Andre Prieto just making a pass to take P2. We'll have to see where he comes out. And he's coming up. I don't know where Tiago is.
Tiago's still in pit lane, working his way out right now. So Andres Cole, he hasn't pitted yet, so the virtual 1-2 is Andres and Tiago still. David Pohl's going to be up to third as soon as Andres Cole makes his pit.
Yeah, is Tiago back out yet?
Yeah, Tiago's on the track. He's 10 seconds off of Andres Prieto.
All right, well, this is pretty much the way we left it before the pit cycle then, with Andre pulling away.
Yeah, he gained a whole bunch of time there, you know, because Tiago was only, what, a second behind when they went into the pits. So it looks like Andres probably stayed out a little bit too long on those worn out tires, and he's lost a lot of time. 11 seconds down now off of Prieto.
Yeah, and Andre Cole, as you said, still has to pit.
Yeah, Andres still has to pit. Probably seeing him in this lap. I think. Oh no, I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong list here.
It looks like Andres is staying out for another lap.
Yeah, I don't see any long lap time here for Andres, so yeah, he's still has yet to pit. I'm just kind of mesmerized here, trying to figure out who else has dropped out of this list, because we only have 16 runners now at the moment, so
well, that means we've lost almost half the field tonight.
Well, I guess you know what? So be it.
They're
still in there.
They're still racing out there. We got Tiago in P3, but I think when Andre takes his pit stop, it's going to put him into P2, but he's got quite a gap up there to make up, and I don't know if he can actually do that. Prieto's running such a smooth race.
Yeah, I don't see that happening unless there's a big mistake from Prieto.
It looks like the big Ford and Andre like this track, and they can run it on home. Juan Monroy up to P5, and Brad Maris chasing him down for P6.
So you know what? You finish this race, you're getting points tonight. So do the best you can to keep your car on. Not hit the wall hard or anything like that. You'll get some points. All the people dropping. Aaron Parsons looks to be the gainer in this. He's up to 10th spot now.
Always dangerous, that guy. Just runs smooth and runs fast. But I think that weight has actually held him back tonight. John Sportelli into P8. Andrew Werner in P9.
Yeah, here we go. Sorry, Andres Cole's finally made his way into the pit area here to get his service done.
He'll need it at this point, boy.
Yeah, it's going to drop him back he'll probably come out in the top, I'm guessing 9th. We'll see here. It's always a good feeling to run up front there for a while, huh?
It is sure nice to see a single digit up on the board there for yourself. Just following along now with Aaron Parsons. He's in P10. We'll see how he comes out, if he comes out ahead.
So it looks like our race for position right now is Brad and Monroy. Brad Maris making a bit of a comeback after that slow start. See if he can make his magic on Juan Monroy here for 4th place.
Yeah, after that disastrous first lap that Brad had, he sure has had to work cut out for him tonight to get back up to P4. Yeah, I just saw the time for Mr. Parsons. He's over 2 seconds off the lap pace. But it puts him up to P9. Just ahead of Andre Cole, who's just rejoining the track. Christian Hamilton up to P11. And Marco Conti into P12. Marty Uren in P13. With Gup Ducklers behind him in P14. Sam Rolfe in the points at P15. And Bjorn Heyman in last paying position, P16.
Just a little thing I've noticed here. The temperatures have dropped. We're down into the upper 80s now. And if you look out there, maybe to throw a little curveball into this race, you might even get a little bit of moisture. What do you think? Looking at some of those clouds working up out there.
Good observation, Curtis. I wasn't paying attention, but it's looking a little darker out there, if I'm not mistaken. That could make this very interesting.
You know, I wouldn't be too surprised if we saw rain on like the last 4 laps. You know, just to see what happens, right? It'd be kind of nice to have a rain button you can just push and go, okay, poof, let's see what happens.
Well, it's nice for us to say that. I'm sure these guys wouldn't appreciate it.
Yeah, they wouldn't want me in charge, huh?
It would be very interesting to see the rain all of a sudden. That would be a lot of fun for us.
It would be kind of fun. You know what? Guys, way too out front. Rain.
Tiago Canola still in P2 with David Poole in P3. And you're right, P4, Juan Monroy and Brad Maris. That looks like the contested position right now.
Brad Maris, another one of those Ford GT1s.
Well, that Aston's got to be no slouch either. It's definitely got the power to put down if he can hang on to it.
Let's see if Brad can make this pass here, and then he can get going after David Pohl and make it a Ford 1-2-3. And it looks like after all that work, Greg had done, he dropped out as well.
That's a heartbreaker for Greg as well. He ran a good smooth race and was making his way up through the pack.
Now, just in case I just all of a sudden disappear, I live in Arizona, and we got one of those interesting 80-mile-an-hour dust storms getting ready to blow through here, so if I just happen to disappear, you'll know why. Hopefully that won't happen. I'm enjoying this.
Well, I'm just out the back of Brad Maris right now, Curtis, as he's chasing down Juan Monroy, and it sure looks like Brad wants by in a bad way, and Juan's had a few little bobbles, so Brad might get the opportunity.
Yeah, it looks like Brad's just sizing him up a little bit here, see where his weak spots are. You don't want to just attack the guy the first chance you get, but see where he's strong, see where he's weak.
Well, he's definitely getting in close enough to grab a bit of a draft.
Got a hard braking zone here for the right hand, though.
Great defensive driving.
We're what, 26 laps into this race.
And
making the move.
Yeah, he's having a good look. I don't know if he can hang on to it though. It looks like he's got the power down. He might. Oh boy, that's some great action there.
On the outside.
Now on the inside. A little wobble, and he's taking the position away. You can bet Juan's going to be on the pedal to stay with him.
Juan did not make that easy. Redhead kind of does a slide job up on him. He takes that position.
Yeah, it was
now
good.
Brad has to chase down David Pohl. So with what 15, 16 laps remaining, you can see Brad can chase down David Pohl now. Go for that famous Ford 1-2-3. When was the last time we saw that? 60 what? 7?
Yeah, it's been quite the interesting race. It's too bad we've lost so many drivers. So.
Yeah, it looks like Brad's able to gap himself a little bit now. We've got Andrew Warner and John Sportelli fighting it out. They're about half a second away from each other. Brad Maris has dropped that gap from third place to 9 seconds already in what, a lap and a half. So we'll see if he can do Brad can keep it on the road. He might be able to chase down David, but that's going to be a tough task.
Yeah, I've just dropped back here to P8 Andrew Warner. A bit of a battle going on back here.
That gap between Andres and Thiago is still at 12 seconds, so I think Andres has pretty much got this, got that gap he wants to see.
Yeah, he's looked really smooth the whole race, and if he could just keep it smooth, I wouldn't think that Thiago looks like he's been pushing hard to stay up with him, so I don't know if he'll be able to actually catch him. That'll be the McLaren.
Oh yeah, McLaren F1 and another Ford GT1. So yeah, looks like a Ford's strong car to have tonight.
It sure appears that way. But these Ford GT1s and these McLarens have been battling out for the last few races. They look really evenly matched. You got to hand it to the Kart Pack guys. They've done a great job again. Werner out to take the pass. Great side-by-side action.
It looks like Aaron Parsons has worked his way up to 9th. His way around Andres Cole. Aaron has a lot of work if he wants to catch up to Andrew Warner. He's at 20 seconds behind 8th place, so Aaron probably just going to have to take his 9th place tonight.
Not a bad position to be in this group of competition we've got here tonight, though.
Yeah, and especially where he started. He started back in the pack quite a ways too. So.
And with all that weight on,
you know, Aaron doesn't. He won't like it, but you know, sometimes you just got to take what you can get.
Yep, Andre Cole back in P10, and Christian Hamilton up to P11. Boy, he started way back in the pack, if I'm not mistaken. And Marco Conti into P12. Marty Uren still got Marco Conti in his sights, and still got time to close that gap. Bjorn Heyman, P14. Sam Rolfe into P15. Getting passed by the big Ford. I think that's Andre, our leader. Cup Douglas in last paying position, P16.
Yeah, it's looking at timing and scoring here. Looks like Christian Hamilton about ready to get lapped by our leader. It's shown in the 2:05 behind him, but it's a minute 40 laps. I don't know how that's possible. He should already be past him, so.
And on through he goes.
Yes, he was on the broadcast saying, "Hey, Jack, I've eaten the points tonight, but not quite yet."
There's still hope for us yet.
I'm only one place out, yes.
Oh, way to go. It's the best race I've had all year.
My best GT1 finish in a long time, yes.
Thiago Canola still hanging on to P2. David Poole, P3. And
I was really pulling for Brad there, you know, to take that gap down to David Poole and see if we couldn't get that Ford 1, 2, 3. You know, that would make Al very happy. But you know, to be honest with you, the last few weeks Brad has been helping me quite a bit with my driving and car setups and stuff, and it's really, I wanted to say, you know, big thank you to Brad for helping me with that. It's helped me a lot, and so I was pulling for him tonight to get up there and take it to David Bull, you know. And thanks a lot, Brad. Appreciate that.
yeah, Brad's one of our instructors at the NAGP, and any of you drivers that want to hook up on the school, we usually run those in the off season, and it's a great way to get with some of the top drivers and improve your skills.
Yeah, I guess now it's as good a time as any since we got a little bit of break. Everybody's kind of gapped themselves, you know, hey, we can hook yourself up, do some racing with us. We got the Saturday League. Is that starting up this Saturday, the IndyCar mod?
The Champ Cars will be running on Saturdays. I'm not sure when it's going to start. I should know. I do some broadcasting there on the Saturdays as well. I might try and race some of these. Those are wicked fast and fun.
And then, of course, we always have the Monday leagues, the GT2 cars. There's some open. We've got some pretty big fields in the GT2 races this year, you know, with 35, 36, 38 starters. So if you want to get in a big field of cars to do some racing, Monday league is always a good class to do that. And then, of course, we got, you know, the Thursday leagues, the GT1 cars.
Yeah, there's racing for pretty much all levels here, although the top half of the competition in these Monday and Thursdays is pretty intense. These guys are wickedly fast, but there's always somebody to race with, no matter how slow you are, even if you're as slow as I am. So come on out and race with me if you can't race with the top guys. Yeah, back down at P7.
I do have to say it was... Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it pains me to say I'm looking forward to the Ford 123 being a Ferrari fan myself, but you know, just to show I'm fair.
Well, we've got Poole chasing down Sportelli.
Oh yeah, we do. He's right there on him, doesn't he?
Absolutely. This is quite the battle that's going on now.
What are you seeing there?
Oh, I'm sorry, that's Andrew Warner. And Andrew Warner has lost it. Off into the kitty litter.
Just to give him his time on TV, and what does he do? He puts it into the wall. Come on, get back out there and get him.
He'll collect it back up again and get back in the race there. It's giving John a little bit of breathing space because Warner was all over the back of him.
John, in turn, is chasing down Al, so that's Al in front of John Sportelli. They're just 3 seconds in front of him, so Al's going to want to stay focused and not let John get up past him.
Yeah, we just had a message up there. They think maybe Sportelli lagged a little bit. I didn't actually see it on my screen, but could very well have done that. Yep, Big Al's going to want to pick up the pace a little bit.
Stop looking at the XD and hit your marks. We have probably 8 laps left or so? Roughly, yeah, maybe 7, 8 laps left. So we got the leader working lap 33 right now. Out of a scheduled 42. I don't know how much time is left, so that I didn't have it. Forgot all about the old timer trick I used to do.
Well, I am showing, well, then again, that's not quite correct. We got a broadcast time of 1:47 going right now, so with a half hour for qualifying, 1:17. We still got some laps to go. We may go the distance on this one.
All right. Oop, John gets wide but hangs on to it.
Yeah, Big
John's
Al
pushing it, trying to catch Al.
And Big Al had a little bit of a wobble just around the same time, so they're both pushing for that P6 position, that's for sure. Big Al running that Ferrari 575 out.
Looks like we will be going on laps, so 42 laps scheduled. We'll make that fairly easy doing the math here. That means 9 laps to go. Degrees. Track temp dropped to what, 6-7 degrees from the start of the race. Still dry out there. Not looking to see any rain tonight, I guess. Huh?
Yeah, those clouds didn't get too much darker. In fact, it looks a little hazy, but still nice and blue.
I'm not going to get my 4-lap rain race in. God.
Well, that would be a scramble right at the end, that's for sure. No one would have the tires for the rain right now. Andrew Werner, after his little bobble there on the broadcast, is looking to try and make up some of that time. I don't know if he's got it left in him, no. Aaron Parsons running in P9. Andre Cole back to P10. And Christian Hamilton in P11.
Without the gaps, I can't really tell who's trying to get the who as far as any close races here. Looks like everybody's pretty well spread out. The closest one being Al and John. John's closed in within 2 seconds of Al again.
Yeah, everybody else has got... in the just one spot out of the points.
Yeah, it's my life story. I need to kick it up a notch, huh?
Yeah, well, hey.
At least I'm in front of you.
P16, yeah, P6. Well, that doesn't surprise me. I usually my goal is to be the last car running, which tonight would just about put you in the points.
Just about, just about.
And here we are.
Andre and Thiago pretty much. Yeah, first place. I just saw you go there. So that gap still at 15 seconds. So Andre, like, I guess your prediction tonight, you're the man there. Toast to you.
Well, he has been. It just seems like Andre's been getting better and better every race I watch him in. Driving the car really smooth and showing a lot of patience this year. And P2, Thiago, you never count that guy out. Boy, slippery Thiago Canola. That guy can drive the wheels off a car.
Yeah, he's been showing the GT2 crowd how to drive a Porsche this year, that's for sure.
Unbelievable how he's got that, I'm going to say, from what everybody tells me, that underpowered Porsche going as fast as he can get it going. It's amazing. David Pohl in P3, no surprise there. One of our top drivers in the NAGP.
And it looks like he's gapped himself from Brad Maris. A little bit long. It was 10 seconds up to 13 now, so looks like everybody except John Sportelli. You know, John and Al are the only two out there with a real race on their hands right now.
Yeah, like I said, David Pohl in P3. David's got that McLaren. He's been running real solid all season so far with the McLaren F1, and David Pohl, he's racing out of Woodstock, Georgia.
Yeah, David Pohl was nice last race out of Monza.
Yep, Brad Maris. He's made a couple of mistakes tonight, but P4 is not all that shabby.
But you know what this is going to do for David Pohl? It's going to put him at the top of the, maybe not. It's certainly going to help him when it comes to the championship here. He's sitting second right now with Aaron Parsons in the lead. So he's going to make up some ground in the championship points tonight. It's really going to hurt David Canavan and Chris Moses. Those two are sitting third and fourth. But with both of them dropping out tonight, it's going to let Aaron and David gap themselves quite a bit for that championship chase.
Well, still a lot of racing in the season yet to go, so I'm sure anything can happen here at NAGP. One or two races can make a big difference, so I'm sure we'll still see them up near the top battling for the championship at the end.
Yeah, this is one of those races. That's what I mean by that. You know, one or two races in a season can make a big difference. So
Brad Maris going by some lap traffic, getting the flashing lights, and away he goes. Just doing a little bit of a swing around there, Brad's car. I sort of thought he might have looked like he had some damage on it, but my mistake. Looks pretty clean. Juan Monroy in P5 had some great battles earlier with Brad. Looks like Juan might have a little bit of damage on the right front corner there. And Big Al in P6.
yeah, Nick Johnson's so totally in trouble.
Sportelli still chasing down Big Al. Werner in P8. Aaron Parsons still in P9. Andre Cole, I don't think he's that far behind in P10.
He was just 3 seconds off of Aaron there, so maybe Andre's just smelling Ezra and try to take off that light spot away from him.
Yeah, Andre running in the top 10 tonight. Good finish for him.
It's yeah, Andres Cole, he's running 58s, and Aaron running 59, so it looks like Andres Cole is going to be able to chase him down and see if we have more laps here. We might have a race there for night.
Yeah, it could be interesting later on in the race. On board now with Andre Cole. He definitely has him in sight, giving him a target to chase down. Oh boy, Curtis, I think I'm giving these guys a broadcaster's curse every time I jump on board with somebody that are off in the kitty litter. Andre just hanging on to that last corner.
Well, gotta give you a chance to drop back up to Sportelli as he's chasing to Al. They just passed some lap traffic, and that's giving John back up there with Al. There's only,
and we're back up with him. Yeah, he's definitely closed the gap there. This is going to be a pony race.
Kelly's running 57s for quite a few laps right now. 58s, that's what those both dropped down 58s, so
yeah, John's working the curving pretty good.
GT1 races last season that we were able to do a Sega. There was quite a bit of attrition. Ended up there in the top 10. I think it was 6, I want to say. So that was a pretty good feeling, and then feel bad for the guys dropping out. Right. You know, you take those points and you feel good about it. So.
Absolutely. Anytime you can get the points, it's well worth grabbing them here in this league. We've got Andrew Werner is chomping up behind Sportelli as well.
So here we got the three-way battle here for 6. Bruin here at the end of the race.
Andrew Werner with the McLaren. We've got the McLaren Ford battle going again.
Here we go. Three-way battle. That's what we want at the end of a race. A battle.
Absolutely. A drag race to the finish would be nice too. Our leaders might not be too happy. They're not getting as much airtime as they usually do. On board with Werner. Sportelli's gone a little wide.
He is right there. Yeah, the three of these guys are all hooked up now, so race on. Andre still has a 16-second lead on second place Thiago, and another 16 seconds back in favor of Cole. So we'll bring this three-car battle to you.
Whoa, we've got a bunch of lap traffic going through there that's created a little bit of a Breathing space there for the other guys, although they probably didn't think much of that. That's probably caused them a little heart palpitation.
Looks like I'm about ready to go into the points. It's Warren. Yep, there it is. Point for me. Warren Hemmond just dropped out of the race. I just happened to catch him close on the track.
Attaboy. And you know what? You did it on a single stint of tires and fuel, too. Way to boy. Way to go, Curtis.
That's too bad for Bourne. You want to get those points. I think he'll get him. He finished the correct percentage of the race. It looks like this race now we got Andrew Werner and John and Al fighting it for 6th place. I would pretty much call this a fight for 6th place now.
Absolutely. Anything can happen here. They're going to push real hard right to the end. Warner's getting a great draft. Side by side into the corner. Werner on the outside. Sportelli on the inside. Sportelli giving... we've got contact. Looks like Sportelli got the worst of that, and Werner's gone through. Sportelli right behind him, not letting him go.
Sportelli hit check there?
Just a little bit. We were just swapping paint. It all good fun at the end of the race. I think that's the way these guys want it, though.
Still got paint left, right?
He's still got a lot of paint left, yeah.
And he's all over the back of Al now, so...
yeah, and Poole had a little bit of a bobble. This is interesting. This is the way we want to see it finish. Werner getting on the back of Big Al. Looks like they're actually gapping a little bit on Sportelli. Werner on the inside makes a great pass on Al. Wow, a superb pass if he can hang on to it. Great driving by Andrew Werner. I don't think Big Al's done it. Sportelli's in behind them.
Good fight here at the end of the race. The leader is working lap 41 now.
And Sportelli all over the back of Big Al.
Move away a little bit from Al.
Yeah, this battle with Al and Sportelli is giving Werner a little bit of breathing space.
Yeah, Al depending on the inside is going to take a little wide, see if he can hold it tight.
Yeah. Issue there. I've seen the car jump a couple of times on the broadcaster.
I've been riding around with him quite a while. Haven't seen anything, but that's not to say it doesn't happen. So.
How are we doing on laps there? We must be getting close.
We're getting close. I'm going to hop on right now with these two guys. I'll hop on with Andres and see where he's at.
Absolutely. Sportelli is still chasing down Big Al.
Let's get ready to take the checkered flag.
And Prieto takes it.
Andres win.
P2. Tiago Slippery Canola. P3. David Poole. Great race in that McLaren. Brad Maris, P4. Tough luck earlier, Brad, but great race. Way to bring it home. Juan Monroy in P5. Great race for Juan as well.
A few corners to work here. Let's work on the last corner now. I hate to give those guys a position before they get on that last straight.
Yeah.
There he goes, Fred on the final straight there.
Yeah, just on board with Juan Monroy there, watching him come around, and he's right side door is all caved in on Juan, so he's had some contact tonight. Andrew Werner.
Here we go. Fight went, looks like Sportelli got inside Al. Another little hip check there.
He sure did, and Al's gone wide, but kept it on the track, got her back on.
Oh, John!
That's a gentleman move if I've ever seen it.
Yeah. And we take it right back.
And I'm not so sure what happened there, to be perfectly honest with you.
I don't know.
Couple of real gentlemen.
Maybe Al felt it was all fair.
It could very well be. Could very well be. I wouldn't doubt it.
Maybe Al thought that was just hard race and said, "Don't give me that back. Take that."
You're right. You're probably absolutely right. We'll have to talk to him later. Aaron Parsons, I think he's going to finish up in 9th. If he's showing 7 right now, but and they're all dropping out. Well, Curtis,
the last of our finish.
that was some great action. Unfortunately, we had a lot of attrition going on tonight. I don't like to see that too often. It's nice to see. Did you make it into the points, Curtis?
Well, good to see you. Well, it's hard to see where I got. I think I got 16th. Too bad for you, Jack. Maybe next week you can get some points, but
no, I don't want to. I don't want to be in the points there. I want to see. Nice to see the big fields out driving, and like you mentioned earlier, we've got some great racing action going on Mondays, Thursdays, and starting up on Saturdays again. So, grab your wheels, put your helmets on, get your pit crew together, and come on out and join us.
Yeah, it was a good night of racing. Thanks everybody for joining us tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. Tell us what you like, what you don't like, and we'll go move on from there. And hope you can join us here Mondays, Thursdays, Saturdays, during the week practicing. It's good times.
Well, for Curtis and myself, we got to thank you, and we're going to be signing off for NAGP. It's been a blast. Night for now. Bye, Curtis. We'll catch you. Hopefully, we'll catch you again next week.
Will do.